In this video, I'm going to be talking about the Natty verified movement, the Natty verified hashtag. It's something that KinoBody, Greg Gallagher came up with, and I'm going to discuss this, whether I think this is a good idea or not, whether this is something that could actually work, and whether or not this is going to actually even be possible. I'm John from BulldogMindset.com. On this channel, I teach you how to be a man today, how to basically get your finances in order, become financially independent if that's what you desire, build the physique that you want, and get those girls. So click that subscribe button to become a Bulldog, and also click the bell to get the notifications, because a lot of the videos on this channel don't show up in YouTube when they come out because of the nature of the content that I talk about, and those are the videos that you definitely do not want to miss. Greg Gallagher from KinoBody, who actually has a lot of good stuff to say. I think that his programs and his way of fitness, kind of the things that he's discovered about getting shredded and diet and everything is very similar to what I learned over 20 years, and I've been preaching on this channel. A lot of the stuff that I teach you guys about diet nutrition, he does pretty close to an OMAD type of diet. He focuses on what he calls like superhero physique, and that's basically what I focus on as well. Same types of lifts and exercises, same kind of thing. He came up with this idea. He wanted to basically verify naturals. If you look on Instagram especially, but here on YouTube as well, there's a lot of people that claim to be naturals or lifetime naturals that are not. They're on gear, they're on steroids, they're on illegal substances, okay? And they're claiming to be natural, and that's not really that huge of a big deal, except that they're selling you programs, they're selling you supplements, and they're claiming to be natural, and they're basically promising that you're going to get similar results. The reason why this is a big deal for people like Greg, which I believe that he's natural, okay? Honestly, I've actually met him in person, chatted with him, a few times. I met him at Elliot Hulse's strength camp event and talked with him, and he's actually not that big of a dude, right? He's pretty short. He comes up to maybe like here on me. Okay, no offense, Greg. I'm not making fun of you, but he's not really that big. I think that he's natural, and what he's obtained is obtainable naturally. He's got some pretty good genetics, of course, but he got ripped, and if you get ripped and you get shredded like that, and you have good lighting and whatnot, you're going to look really, really good, and that's possible. And the program that he's advocating, the stuff that he's selling, and the way he's talking about dieting, that will work. That will get you results that are pretty damn close to his, okay? Especially if you're his size, okay? For his size, you can look that good, proportionate, and aesthetic, okay? So the reason why he would want natties to be verified, to have this test, is real simple. Is because if he's really not on any gear, okay, and he's selling this stuff, he's competing with people like Simeon Panda, that's the one that everyone's picking on lately, and a bunch of other guys that are on gear that are selling stuff, and it's not a good comparison, okay? It's making him look bad. People are accusing him of being on gear and stuff, and what he's selling is actually legitimate, right? He's actually gotten those results doing what he's done, and I for the most part believe him. So a lot of you guys, you question whether I'm on steroids or not. Oh my gosh, there was this one dude, I don't even remember his name now, but he just kept on commenting on every single video saying, "Oh John, you can't be natural. There's no way you could be that big, you could be that lean being that big, and running 50 miles a week, running marathons, and lifting for 2-hour lifting sessions, and fasting like every other day, only eating 1 meal a day." The truth is, that's what I'm doing, right? You guys that have been here for a while, you've seen me doing this stuff, and some of you are like, "Oh no, John doesn't even look like he's on gear. He's not that ripped." There's other guys that are way more jacked. Some of that is because it's skewed, because you've seen guys that are on gear that are like looking really, really sharp, and you've got camera angles, lighting, all those kind of things. So a lot of people, when they see me in person, it's a little bit of a different experience. But I can tell you, okay, and I can only just tell you this, that I'm not on gear. I've never taken any stuff. If I did, I would tell you. I'm actually getting a test done because my SHBG is really high. So I may end up in the future taking some kind of hormone replacement, even though I've been totally against it, just because this SHBG is super, super high. If any of you guys know a way to fix this without going to some kind of hormone replacement type of thing, let me know, because I'd rather just stay totally natural. But if I do some kind of hormone therapy, and it does involve some kind of drugs or something, I'm going to tell you. I'm going to say it on this channel. I'm going to say, this is what I'm doing, and this is why. I'm telling you this as well, not to brag, okay? But because I understand where Greg's coming from, because, again, I'm not really selling fitness programs, okay? I don't even really, this isn't even really a fitness channel, okay? And I still get accused of this shit, and it kind of pisses me off. When I'm able to achieve you can achieve. And I know it because if you follow what I'm doing, you can get those results. Now, yes, there is a genetic factor to it, but that's not the only component, okay? And I don't have like ridiculously superior genetics, okay? Because I've been fat, I've been overweight, I've gone through other routines and other programs and diets and stuff, and I have not achieved the results that I'm achieving now. I'm able to achieve those results because I've dialed in some of these things, okay? Not perfect, but the frustration comes from knowing that like you're working your ass off. The advice you're giving to get the physique that you have is valid, and someone else is just, they don't even know what the fuck they're doing, okay? They're making a program, their physique looks even better than yours, okay? And they're tricking people, okay? Because they're taking the shortcut, okay? Again, I don't really have much of a problem with people being on steroids. I'll tell you this, pretty much every professional athlete is going to be on some kind of performance enhancing drug, okay? Pretty much every actor that's in an action movie is going to be on some performance enhancing drug. Why wouldn't they? If I were in that situation, I would for sure. If I were a professional bodybuilder, I wouldn't want to be handicapped. If I were a professional athlete, I wouldn't want to be handicapped when my competitor are doing that, when my competition is. And again, as an actor, same thing. If I need to look like fucking Thor, I'm gonna, do what I can. Now, I take pride in the fact that I can still look like fucking Thor and even be bigger than Thor, and I don't have to, but it takes a lot of fucking work. That's basically the idea behind the Natty Verified, and that's why Greg wants to do this, and it will help him, right? And he's been kind of, he's been pretty clear about this, that if you could wipe out the people that were fake naturals, there wouldn't be a lot of people standing, right? There wouldn't be a lot of people that have the physique as good as Greg's. Again, if you could actually see him in person to scale, though, you wouldn't be quite as impressed as when you see it on video, okay? Just like if you saw me in person, like if we stood next to each other, you would see that I'm like literally twice his size. That's why that motivation exists. But if he could eliminate those competition, those people, right, then there wouldn't be too many people on the top of that hill, and everyone would be flocking to him to buy his program, especially if he's an originator of this, right? Same thing, if I were selling a program, I'd be really on board with this, because, and maybe I will sell a program at some time. I mean, I do have Bulldog Mindset membership, by the way. If you want to get in there, take the quiz here, this Bulldog quiz. The link will be in the description as well. It'll give you a score, tell you how much of a Bulldog you are, and then it'll give you some instructions on how you can raise that score and give you an invitation into my private Bulldog Mindset membership. That's where I go into all this stuff, and I actually do. It's basically like buying a fitness program from me, because I go through all my fitness stuff through there. My point is, if I were really selling something, I would be really wanting to get rid of these fake natural guys. Now, with that said, okay, let's talk about the second part of this, which is this feasible or not, okay? And honestly, I actually think, I know I've watched a lot of videos on YouTube here of all the fitness channels commenting on this and stuff, and the majority of them said it's not feasible, okay? Omar Surf, and who else? Like a bunch of guys, pretty much everyone's commented on this, which is good. That's a good move, Greg. Nice job. You got everyone to talk about you. So, but that's good. Maybe that's what he's thinking as well. But anyway, a lot of them are saying it's not possible. What Greg wants to do is a carbon isotope testing, which will basically detect, any kind of hormones in your system for like 6 months. There's a lot of ways that you could sort of make this work. A lot of people have said, well, these tests can be cheated, which they can, okay? They've also said that, well, there's a difference between being natural now and being a lifetime natural, and basically that, like, if you took some cycles of gear earlier on in your life, that you have increased mitochondria in the muscle memory, you'll be able to be essentially, unlock, an epigenetic type of unlocking feature to your physique, where you'll be able to grow muscles bigger than you would normally, okay? And I agree to some degree that that's probably true, okay? But even with that said, here's the thing about this, right? This is why I think it would actually work. He said that, if there's like a 70% chance, if the test is 70% accurate, that's good enough. Because no one is going to roll the dice, okay, with their career, with their business, taking this test if there's a 30% chance that they could fail, or a 70% chance that they could fail if they're fake natural, that they couldn't cheat it, right? If there's a chance that they could fail at cheating this and they could get caught, because they're going to lose everything. And so what that would create is, let's say that Greg gets this thing going, and again, there's some sophistication. Like, you'd probably have to join some organization, okay? And then you'd have to agree to, like, randomized testing at certain periods of time. Maybe, everyone comes together, and or like you suddenly get called up on and you have 3 days to respond or whatever, right? And maybe you can test some blood levels and all kinds of things. So maybe there's a few different things that you could do, to make these tests good, okay? So, but not perfect, right? If you just make it good enough where there's a huge risk, if you join this organization, all of the people that are fake naturals, and most of them are really honestly just some young punk that is taking some steroids and going on Instagram as an Instagram model, doesn't know much about fitness, doesn't have a lot of money to be able to pay to fake these tests and all this. So you're going to catch a majority of them, and you're not going to catch anyone. That's what's going to happen, is you're not going to catch anyone. But what you're going to do is you're going to create a line in the sand, right? Because let's say that Greg had this program, right? And let's say, in order to get tested and to like get verified, it was like initially $2,000, okay? And then let's say that it was like you had to pay dues of $300 a year membership, right? And that involves some random testing, and you're part of this, this verified natural group, okay? Guess what's going to happen? Greg is of course going to submit himself to this. Omar Surf is going to, Alpha Destiny probably will, right? These guys, I will. Okay, I'm not even running a fitness channel, but I will do it, okay? Because I want to just be able to say, look, guys, this is it. Like, fuck you. You don't have any excuses. I'm a fucking bulldog. This is what you get when you actually work and do the work, okay? Because I would like to be part of that, okay? Even though I'm not running a fitness channel. So you're gonna have a bunch of people like them, like myself, right? And we're gonna join this, okay? And we're willing to pay the money, okay? And we're going to get that verification status, and all these other people, okay, that are out there that know that they're not natural and know that they can't afford to risk failing this test because they're not even going to know what it is, right? It's going to be really difficult, even if you can cheat it, okay? There's too much of a risk involved, all right? They're not going to touch it. Okay, so what's going to happen is you're going to have, basically 3 groups of people. You're going to have people that are in that naturally verified group, okay, that you're pretty damn certain, like probably 99% certain that they're not on anything, right? And you can kind of tell already, right? I could tell you the guys that are on gear that aren't on gear. Maybe some of them are, that would surprise me, but, look at Jeff Athleen, Athleen X, and, like I said, Greg, and you can kind of tell. Those guys you would trust, all right? Then there's going to be the guys that claim to be natural, okay, but aren't part of that, okay? And those guys, like, if they look too good to be true, you're going to say, well, fuck. If you're super successful and you're selling all these programs and you're doing so well, why wouldn't you just go over there, pay the $2,000, and get verified? Like, what's the problem? And those guys are they're gonna tank, okay? People are not gonna trust them. They're not gonna buy their programs because they're gonna say, well, we have a group of people that we know that are likely to be natural, and these ones are question marks. And then there's gonna be the third group of people that that they're on gear and they admit they're on gear or whatever, or they're not even trying to claim to be natural, and that's fine. And there's gonna be always that group. There's nothing wrong with that group, okay? There's a lot of good people that they want to build big physiques. They want to, be freaky, huge, whatever, and they want to compete in whatever it is. That, to me, is what I think the outcome will be. And the more that this happens, the more that this goes on, right? If you have some way of testing, the more that it's going to separate those two, because you're going to have to, it's like no one is throwing the gauntlet down, okay? Because no one has made any kind of hurdle for these guys to jump through, right? If you see someone online and you're like, oh, this person looks like they're on gear, right? All you can do is just accuse them of shit, right? Just like people have accused me of shit so many times, okay? Now, I would love to be able to go and say, okay, well, hey, you're accusing me of shit. Here you go. I'll go and take the test, because I would go and take the test because I got nothing to hide, all right? But you see what I'm saying is like that's kind of where it's going to happen. What's going to happen down the line is that there's going to be a peer pressure to take the test to join this group. And who's going to benefit from that more than anyone else? Greg will, because he's the one organizing this. He's the one who gets the popularity and the name for it. That's fine. I don't care. Greg's done great. He's a good marketing, genius, and whatever. But I believe that it's a good thing in general if this can take off, if there can be at least some level of testing, because it will create that division, and eventually it's going to, peer pressure is going to force basically everyone to either join this, okay, and or to quit or to stop, to basically join the other group and say that they are on gear, or that they're not going to claim to be natural, so they're not going to claim to have natural results. I think that a lot of people have a unrealistic viewpoint of how much money people make that are like in the fitness industry or on YouTube or Instagram or big Instagram models or whatnot. Okay, not a lot. All right, there's very few people that I have met. Okay, and people with like millions of subscribers on their channels, I've met them in person and I've talked finances with them, and I'm like, how much money are you pulling in per year? And they're like, oh, like, it turns out to be like $200,000 or $300,000 net. And I'm like, shit, I'm making like 3 times that amount. I figured you were way beyond, my net worth and making a lot more money. They just don't know how to make money with the subscribers that they have. And what I'm saying is that most of these people do not have the money to be able to cheat the test. They might be able to pay to get into the program, right? But they're not going to be able to pay to have, chemists formulate, tests for them. And it's going to be such a big thing that, again, like to rat someone out, like imagine how valuable it would be to be able to rat someone out. If someone got really big and you could rat them out, it's just very unlikely that people are going to try and cheat the test because there's no real incentive, right? So you're decentivized, okay, if you fail if you try to take the test and fail, you're fucked. You're done, okay? But there's no real incentive for taking the test and passing, okay, unless you're 100% sure that you would pass, which means that you are natural. You see what I'm saying? Right? With a bodybuilding competition, there's an incentive to pass the test because you get to actually compete and win, okay? You have to, right? With a professional someone who's playing professional sports, there's an incentive to pass. With someone who is a movie star, okay, again, they're not being tested, but if they were, there would be an incentive to pass. You see what I'm saying? But in this case, there's no incentive to pass. There's only a decentive to fail it. So you're not going to take the risk, and that's why it would work, even though a lot of people are against it. So what do you guys think about this? Do you think that this would actually work? Do you think this is a good idea? All right, guys, let me know what you think. Click that subscribe button if you haven't already. I'll talk to you next time. Take care.